Section 6.4 Conclusion. To conclude this section, I will state that, akin to my view on angels, I adopt a moderate stance about celestial and infernal beings, leaning toward a symbolic interpretation while remaining open to the possibility of literal understanding. My reasoning lies in the Bible's frequent use of symbolic imagery to articulate truths, such as likening strength to that of a lion or wisdom to the serpent. These symbols often come with interpretive clarity within the text, whereas rendering them exclusively literal introduces complexities that may obscure their intended meaning. This does not imply the dismissal of a literal perspective, but rather a recognition that the symbolic and the literal often coexist, enriching one another. The heavenly beings described in Scripture appear to embody characteristics that resonate with the created order, adapting their representation to the vision or context in which they manifest. For example, the seraphim exemplify humanity's highest calling, to worship God with perpetual reverence, embodying purity and humility. Meanwhile, the cherubim, depicted with elements drawn from earthly creatures such as lions, oxen, and eagles, signify sacred guardianship and divine sovereignty. A strictly literal interpretation of these beings raises compelling questions. Are earthly lions, oxen, and eagles patterned after the cherubim? Did ancient Mesopotamian and Egyptian temple imagery consciously imitate heavenly archetypes? While such inquiries are intellectually stimulating, they also underscore the challenge of confining these symbols to purely literal frameworks without diminishing their broader implications. Regarding demons and devils, I will reserve a more detailed discussion for later sections, as their representations have undergone significant theological and cultural development over time. For now, it suffices to say that if demons and devils exist as literal beings, their symbolic resonance naturally stems from their intrinsic nature and actions. They represent forces of chaos, rebellion, and moral corruption, but also serve as reflections of humanity's internal struggles and external temptations. It is important to acknowledge both the benefits and pitfalls of these interpretive approaches. Viewing entities like seraphim and cherubim as literal beings underscores the grandeur of divine worship and highlights God's creative majesty. However, an overemphasis on their physical descriptions or roles risks devolving into speculative and sensationalized debates that detract from their symbolic significance. On the other hand, a purely symbolic interpretation might strip away the awe-inspiring mystery surrounding God's transcendence, potentially diminishing the sense of His majestic otherness. Similarly, belief in literal demons can heighten vigilance against moral and spiritual threats, fostering a sense of accountability and awareness of the spiritual battle inherent in life. Yet, an over-fixation on demons can lead to paranoia, fear-driven spirituality, or the externalization of personal failures onto malevolent forces, thus avoiding necessary self-reflection. Conversely, reducing demons to mere symbols of inner conflict encourages introspection and moral growth, but may also risk underestimating the reality of external evil, leaving individuals spiritually unguarded. Rather than imposing a rigid, systematic framework on the Bible's enigmatic descriptions, I find it more fruitful to approach the text on its own terms. Its deliberate use of mystery invites us not to resolve every ambiguity, but to glean wisdom from its layered meanings, bridging the metaphysical with the practical truths it seeks to convey. This balance, embracing mystery while pursuing understanding, allows the Scripture to speak with both clarity and transcendence, offering insights that address not only the spiritual realm but also the lived experiences of humanity.